All right, standing by, folks, we're going live with Hannah Davis Pitts soon, right here on all the channels, YouTube, Facebook. Oh, looks like LinkedIn is still a little pausey, but Facebook's working. Wow, that's an interesting one. Twitch and Periscope. So that means Twitter is flying high. So stand by, folks. We're going to do a little recap of some of the stuff that we talked about today in the No Pressure for Creatives room. That's right, folks. No Pressure for Creatives. That place that just brings you into the family and makes you feel like you're at home. Right here on Clubhouse. For those who don't know what Clubhouse is, we're going to talk about that as well, but stand by. Hey, getting ready for that intro. Y'all ready? All right. To brighten other people's world with a smile, all of a sudden the world brightens up around you. It's like reciprocal. It's so interesting, and it's something in psychology that I don't want to talk about more because I don't have the studies in front of me, but it's something about us having a good attitude and keeping a good attitude around the people that we are having or around with that makes us so much better at whatever we want to do. Let's stop fighting beliefs and let's try to find common ground. We're all on this planet together. According to statistics, it's the person who's mediocre that actually advances further. But is racism the reason the crime rates are so high? I can't say that. You know, that's a tough question. I don't think it's racism. The crime rates are going to be so high. I'm going to be honest with you. Actually, I can't answer that. It's human nature. And I'm being truthful about where we're going right now. We're not going in the right direction. We're not going in the right direction to heal and mend this country. Sorry about that, folks. Something happened, technical difficulties with the other device over here, so I ended up replaying that for just a second, folks. I wasn't trying to replay that on y'all. Recap with Hannah Davis Pitts. Hey. She's over there. She's over here on the phone here, but let me see here, folks. You will be able to hear her more in the background. You won't see her if you're listening to this on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch, but you will be able to hear her voice coming on in and as we discuss this conversation. So I'm also going to tag one of my business partners here, Miss Goja, so that we get maybe a little boost. I mean, you know, boost off my business partner. She's got the followers that I don't have. So, and let's see here. I'm going to go live on Instagram as well. So, why does it do that? It's not live. What is wrong with Instagram? It just keeps, every time I put in the thing, it's shutting off live. Look, I mean, no, it's not even you. It's like Instagram is not going live. It's like doing this. It's switching the device, like, live. All right. I don't know why this does this every time with live, but can I put in the details? Where's the details? All right. Let's try that again. In now. All right, stand by, folks. Recap with, this is like a normal thing with me. Every time I try to go live on Instagram, it's like 2 or 3 times that I have to go live. Doesn't make any sense. It's like if you don't tap the button right, and I bet you it's just a tap thing, user error. 90% of the time, it's always user error. And I'm the user, so I'm admitting it's my error. But there it goes. Yeah, it's like such a quick tap. And I know I tap it fast, but all right. Let's make sure that's plugged all the way in. And let's not shut the camera off by putting it in the cradle. All right, folks, you know what time it is. I did not, did I? Oh, I've got to invite Miss, not comments off, turn on commenting, turn on off request to go live, copy link, share. Where is Miss Bench? Invite us, invite to join Anna Davis Bits. And Euharis, send request. Okay, maybe she's getting ready still. I was just talking to her on another call. As you can see, the call ended. So she's coming in just a second real quick, folks. For those who are wondering, yeah, that's who was on the other line. So I wanted to make sure that you all could hear us because we're not, like I said before, we're not just on Instagram today. We are on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Well, no, LinkedIn's still not connected. It's still got a sending. They still haven't approved me, I gather. Twitch and Periscope, which is Twitter. So, and I am rocking on my standing board today. You know, just kind of getting that feeling. But I'm going to turn down the bed music I got over here for just a second on those who are listening live on all those other channels, and we're gonna break this back to chat as well, so we can give y'all an opportunity. Anybody, hey, yo, what's up, Pleen 530? I can see you now on chat. I apologize for that. We were still getting set up. What's good, Pleen 530? And so, yeah, I just want to and rock hard, yeah. Deuces up to. Did I say? No, it says Rockhead. Gotta look closer. Rockhead 1974. What's up? You know what I'm saying? I probably leave your numbers off your names. That's what y'all notice me doing here when I do this combination type of stuff. So stay tuned. And like I said, I'm gonna be rocking side to side like this the whole time. You know, so stay tuned for that as well. But in the meantime, I'm gonna play some music that we can play on the air, you know, because I got it like that, a little few things here, and well, it's not really that big of a deal, but I got a little music that I can play on the air here, and I'm gonna do that. I mean, it's not like it's that fancy, but I'm gonna give us a little bit of background music here that's a little bit different than what I've had on here before. Let's mute this one, and let's jump on over to something like, all right, get a little groove going now, yeah. All right, stay tuned. Anna's coming in. I know she is. I'm gonna message her again, make sure. Boom, 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 boom. Dun, dun. Gotta go you, yeah. Hey, yeah. Ooh. Dun, bong, bong, bong. Just standing by for you right now. Hey, you know, in the midst of doing that, I know for a fact that she wouldn't have done the work that she just did to not jump on here. So I know she's coming. Oh, shoot. My finger's still held down on the mic as I'm standing here. I'm getting tight. My mind's going crazy because I'm insane. I got my mind on the maze and I'm getting the haze. I got time to sit back and chill while I'm kicking, waiting for Anna Davis Pitts. Ooh, I didn't say it right. It's Anna Davis Pitts. I gotta get it tight. I'm just playing around, folks. You know, sometimes you gotta act foolish. But while we standing here standing by for Anna, we're gonna get, oh, she is unable to join. Why is she unable to join? What's going on? Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Are we having that thing again where IG is messing up again? I want to get her in this conversation so we can start talking about some of the stuff we went over today. Let me give you a small recap. Let's give you a small recap real quick. Part of this recap has to do with our topic for today. Hey, there she is. How you doing, Anna?
Doing really good.
All right. Let me cut this music down so everybody can hear you better. All right. Welcome. What you got there?
This little thing. I've got Squish Lash, my cat. He's loud and proud. Never afraid. He's got half an ear. He's a bee. He provides sound effects. That's good. That's good stuff. How about you, my love? What genius you got going on? I get to meet your business partner today.
Well, that was yeah. You know, yeah. I thought you knew Goja. Goja and I are putting together some stuff, but I got a few different partners here, and welcome, Jonesy. Welcome, Glitter.
Another my friend.
I gotta get closer. Glitter at NYC. Okay.
Why can't I see him?
You can't see the chat?
No.
You can't see the chat? Put your finger at the bottom and scroll. Maybe you got your chat turned off. So if you got your chat turned off, what you need to do is you need to hit the little three dots where you can lay a comment. Can you see your comment area?
No, hold on right now. Adjusting.
Okay.
Glitter Ratty.
Yeah, you see it. Glitterati. Glitterati and NYC. She in New York. You know what's up. Thank you for correcting me there. You know, I don't want to mess up anybody's name. And Jonesy. Yeah, welcome to the chat.
Gosh. I grew up with Sarah Jones, and I felt like I really lived in New York City. The first time I bumped into my friend from hometown, Sumter, in Times Square. We bumped into each other, and it was so awesome because we both felt so New York. We were like, we have made it. We have met. We know people on the streets, and it was awesome. I love Sarah Jones, and she's an incredible artist. Check her out. She's does all of the things and needs to be on Saturday Night Live. Just saying.
That's what's up.
That's Princess Whitney. She's one of my other good friends. She's one of my BFFs. She's ride or die.
Right.
She is. I call her Princess. She's like, Anna, it's me, Princess. I call her Princess. For real. She just casually dropped at her house in Manhattan. It was on the Millionaire listing show, and I was like, oh, no big deal. That wallpaper, I already miss her wallpaper. But
wow, what's on her wallpaper there? Let's talk about the wallpaper. But first, get yourself in the screen so folks can see you, not half your face, your whole face. You know what I'm saying? You got your folks. Hey, Riel, and those for y'all joining in. Those for y'all joining in on Instagram. I am live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch right now. You will hear her voice, and Twitch is it's more of a gamer platform, but it has a community of people who just chat as well. So those who are listening in, who are wondering what's going on these, I'm here with Anna Davis Pitts, and we're doing the recap of No Pressure for Creatives room on Clubhouse today. And Anna wasn't there today like she usually is, so I'm a little I did it in the room too. I was like, she wasn't even here. How's she gonna do a recap?
Well, I was just like, we're doing a video. Because I was all gone.
I knew you didn't say you were doing a video this morning until after. It's like, oh yeah, I'm doing a video.
You did it. This is the video.
Oh, this is the video. Yeah, we're doing a real video. We're doing, and next time, hopefully we can get you on the main screen, get you set up, and get you in maybe like a Zoom, or even maybe not even a Zoom call. Maybe actually get my vMix up the right way, and we can get you in vMix and actually have a real. Yeah. See, and then I'm just trying to figure out this broadcast to Instagram as well, because I want to do Instagram in the mix of all this and have you in both channels. But, you know, I know it's challenging with your rig over there, the Band-Aid rig.
Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, it's so many lessons learned is that you cannot just put a Band-Aid on a situation. Because I literally didn't have tape, but found Band-Aids and was like really feeling myself this last episode. And I was like, yes, my rig is genius. All you need is a Band-Aid. And it fell to smithereens. Actually, I saved it for y'all.
Can you see that, Anna? This was me getting my shot, my second shot, Anna.
No.
And this is what they were using the Band-Aids for. Look at the Band-Aid. I had to take a picture just because of you, just to share that with you, just because I was like, look, all the signs are held on my Band-Aids.
Well,
I was like, and they know too, the Band-Aid is a really good, it works. It does what you need to do. Or not. Well, I mean, that one's a little bit heavy for Band-Aids. That's a little bit heavy for Band-Aids.
Look how many that I put on there.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I tried so hard, y'all.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
This is a life lesson. This is a life lesson, everybody. Don't just put a Band-Aid on it.
Some things need to be replaced. You're right.
What you're trying to say? I'm gonna have to take. Is that a big lots? No, I love it.
For those who don't know, she's holding up, one of those ring lights, those ring lights that we have that with the camera base in it. Well, hers broke at the neck of the ring light. And so she's been taping it together with Band-Aids. And the weight of it has been making it fall apart. Those of y'all on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Periscope, that's what's been going on, and that's how Anna Davis Pitts is handling it. And if you're on the other channel, you wanna check in and find out who she is. She is at YOOHOOREIZ. Did I spell it right?
YOOHOOREIZ. So it's like YOOHOO, YOOHOO, and then Eriz. Because that's how I would talk to my dog, Estella. That was my dog voice that I actually learned from Big Mama, Veronica. Shout out.
So that's EIERIZ?
ERIZ, Eriz.
So that's YOOHOOERIZ.
YOOHOOREIZ.
So check her out on Instagram if you're tuning in. And so we're gonna continue this conversation. This conversation is gonna go a little while, and people have been wondering where have I been on providing different content. I'm in rooms working with different people and getting to understand a little bit about our community as a whole in a different way. And I don't just mean creatives. I don't just mean performers. I mean, when I say our community, I mean our community in the world, because there's a lot of different faces, names, and voices, and Clubhouse has been bringing those voices to the table. So for those who don't know, this is the opportunity for y'all to hear more about some of the things we focus on and some of the things we share and some of the things that are going on. So if you haven't had a chance to come in and check out our rooms, come in and check out what we're doing, come in and check out what's going on. I know sometimes you'll see me looking left over here. I need to be looking over here to say y'all. But like I said, if you're just wondering what's going on, just come on by if you get a chance. If you got an iPhone, I can get you an invite. Hit me up. I'll get you an invite, get you in. If you just want to know more about what we're talking about, it's some deep conversations going on. There's some interesting people being met and some things, some transformative things happening in our communities. So there's a lot of knowledge I want to share about the next phase of this, and so I've had to hold back the next lesson for folks. People have been wondering what that next lesson is, and the problem is that I've realized some things about teaming that I need to step back and take a little listen and learn from before I can step out and present that lesson with an effective mind. So I've been taking a lot of notes, and it's funny because every week since then, I've picked up a big new lesson on teaming. So I know this is not going to be perfect, so I'm going to put it out soon, but I had to revamp that lesson. And so I have a whole new series of lessons that will be backed up coming out behind that, but they'll be coming out. So with that being said, I just want to get back to Anna here. Anna. Woohoo! What were you going to say there?
Well, I was so intrigued on your subject matter in reference to the humanity happenings within Clubhouse, if you will. I'm addicted to it.
Oh yeah, that's right. You came in on the tail end of the conversation. Okay, let me tell folks what we started with. We started with this idea of what's your biggest mistake. That was the main conversation about mistakes, and see now you get a little twist on the whole conversation now that you didn't get. But yeah, our conversation was about people's mistakes. So we went around the room and we talked about mistakes from another end. You know, a lot of people look at mistakes in different ways. We look at mistakes as something that weigh us down, or we look at mistakes as something that changes our perspective, or we look at mistakes as something we need to change. But sometimes a mistake is there for a reason for us. You know, it's there for a reason for us to learn, I believe. And if we can learn from that mistake and grow from that mistake, then a mistake is not a bad thing to have. A mistake is just like failing. We fail to succeed. So with that being said, we discussed some of the things that we've had going on. And then somebody said, you know, something about the nation, and went into this idea of, you know, when it comes to ecology and when it comes to our nation, we've kind of failed at this idea of hemp and the use of hemp in society, and the use of how marijuana is medicinal and all these factors. So the conversation kind of got a little heated and hot about, you know, the legalization or the use or the how marijuana can be, or hemp can be used to either save the trees, save us using trees, or using natural resources more, and how much hemp can actually change our financial environments, and how much, did we lose Anna? We lost Anna. No, we lost Anna for a moment. Okay, let me see if I can get her back. How much it can change our environments. And so that's one of the things that we talked about. And so it went off on a tangent. It went off on kind of a tangent. And I think when it went off on a type of tangent, you got different people's perspectives. And you got some people didn't agree. Some people did agree that it was useful. But in the majority of people thought that, you know, maybe this is the majority of the room. People in the room, majority of the room, thought that maybe we should be using hemp and not keeping it as taboo, you know. And I think majority of that is because we have people from all over the world who have all different things going on. Do we have an issue? Oh, maybe there's a phone call coming in. All right. Well, we'll see if what's going on with Miss Anna for a moment. Let's see. Let me ask her. Make sure things are okay, because this topic is a touchy topic, and I know that she didn't really want to, you know, discuss about it, but I definitely want to hear her perspective of, you know, that, because, okay. Just waiting. Just waiting for what? Oh, she switched devices, so she didn't have to do all this. Oh, okay. Let me tell you. Let me go back to that. Okay. For those who are wondering what's going on, she switched devices because she is having a challenge with devices right now. So she's waiting on the tablet, and I guess I missed that part of the conversation somewhere in there, but that she was gonna switch. But you know, hey, that's how it works. But let me join the chat when you do, and then I can easily invite you up. I mean, it's easy either way. But oh wait, she just did. Duh. That was so funny. She said she needs the latest Instagram to join. So now you got to update your Instagram. That's the next part. You need the latest version. Yeah, this is why I want to do it this way. So you don't have to worry about all this. I can send you a link. You can come in from a phone. You can come in from a pad. You can come in from anything else in the future. And so that's why I need to really look at this and look at how Zoom is doing this when it comes to sending it out to social media, and look at how, I have vMix as well, but I think I need to upgrade my vMix, which is going to cost me another probably $240 or something like that. I think so. So should I do that, it gives me the ability to send links to people. I think that's it. I'm not sure if this one does too. It might. vMix. I know I own a copy of vMix, and I only got the other one because I wasn't using that type of call in, because I could use Zoom, or I could use Discord, or I still can use Discord. I paid Discord. So, I mean, there's other ways we can come in if you cannot get in by updating your app. So let's see. Let's see if that works. Let's see. All right. So today has been the day of technical difficulties. And speak of technical difficulties, welcome back. Welcome back, Anna.
Thank you. It feels good. It feels good. I just had to get back to my cell phone because I was like pushing these buttons on this tablet. Yeah, I apologize. Is what my son used to say.
No worries. No worries. See, what we're going to do in the next round of this is definitely look at these options first. So we're going to talk about these options first and figure it out. So right now I'm just a little tied for time overall because of school projects that I'm behind on. Matter of fact, I was supposed to spend all morning doing finishing a project, and I had to get some sleep. So before we did our show this morning, and it was dragging when we started our show. But I look forward to our show, and I look forward to these scheduled events. So yeah.
It was good. It was good, and I didn't know. I feel like that it got escalated. Like, stuff happens in those rooms. Back to Clubhouse stuff. Everybody, if you're not on it, get on it already. I think Android is accepted now, right?
Hacking droids, I think.
Really?
Yeah, because essentially I can get on a Clubhouse from a computer, because you can use the API and go in the back end. And because Android has that open API type of technology, or open OS technology, people can actually hack into it.
Well, that's why I have an iPhone, because I used to have to take stalker stuff app off my phone every day. And then one day I was like, I'm going to have to get an iPhone, because my heart is Android. It is.
Uh-oh, she said her heart is Android. Uh-oh. Your heart is hacking droid, huh? No, I'm just joking. Your heart is Android, huh? No, I'm not. I'm not putting down Android at all.
The people, yeah. I love the simulator. I don't know. I think maybe I was hating on Apple for a second. I think might be the bottom line here.
That's funny. It's funny because before I used to hate on Android for a little while, but I had an Android for a long time, and for me the hating part, yeah, well, for maybe 2 years, and for me the hating part came up because the connectivity, when I had to go back and connect between my devices, iPads and machines, Mac, because I'm in media, so you're using these particular devices, the connectivity just wasn't the way I needed it for everything. So that was my biggest downfall when it came. For me, that was the biggest downfall for it. But at the same time, Samsung makes some excellent phones, so I'm not downing them at all. So I just love my iOS and iPad OS.
I would probably freak out.
And Mac OS.
Now I've had...
And I love my Windows. I got Windows too. I got everything except for I don't have Android right now. But what were you saying?
But you know what is annoying is that you can't walk up to your wall and push the buttons, dog.
Yeah. There's no wall pad yet. I want my wall pad TV. Give me that wall pad TV.
Okay. I felt like
I can't find that. Where's that dang photo? Dang it. Can you imagine looking for a photo on a wall?
It's so Richie Rich. It's so Richie Rich. I love it. And also, you can just surrey that ish. Surrey it. I surrey that wall thing up.
Say that again.
What were you talking about that you wanted to discuss with me that I didn't want to talk about? I mean, of course, I'm bringing it up.
No, I didn't know if it was you were switching. I didn't know you were switching. I didn't know what we were talking about in the room. I was mentioning what was going on in the room about, this transition from talking about hemp to trees and talking about, like you were saying, things go on in those rooms and it gets kind of heated, and then it's a matter of, hey, how can you balance this out, And I think the best part always about balancing out is allowing people to speak and allowing their opinion to be heard. And that's what today, it works well. Tomorrow it might not. Somebody's opinion might be too harsh, and I might have to move them off the stage because they may.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get to step. Sometimes it's like, okay, well, bye. Just like if somebody has some kind of offensive something going on, I got zero problem with. I mean, essentially, it's a clubhouse block. You put them in the audience.
Yeah.
But I mean, and if I have to block somebody, so be it. But it is mostly love, Doc, for sure.
Oh yeah, it's not out of hate. It's out of goodwill. I look at it. It's something I learned in classes as well. We talk about goodwill in media and we talk about goodwill in the community, and part of goodwill is the audience is the most important thing. The people you're connecting with. Okay, for me, the audience, I like to bring everybody on stage, so everybody is connected in the community. So really, I don't want an audience. I want a community, so I'm always trying to connect everybody. So
a tribe.
Yeah. So and I've now got to do 40 push-ups because I said that twice. But my goal is always connecting people and bringing people into. And so some people don't want to be connected. Some people do. Some people just want to listen. And I don't mind if they want to be on stage and listen, but I want them the opportunity to understand what it feels like to be on that stage. And if they feel like speaking, they don't have to be like, I got to raise my hand and wait and go through all this. No, you tap in. You get a chance to speak. You might have an opinion that changes all of our perspectives, And that guy who said, particularly, I think his name was Nick. He jumped in and he said, "I don't believe people should be smoking marijuana or should be using marijuana or should be using any drugs." And so I get it.
He was upset.
Yeah, he was upset, and that's why I used that voice to manage that he was upset. And I'm like, I get it. I get it. I understand your perspective. If you don't feel that way, please share why and please share more about that. Give people a perspective because maybe there's somebody here who's struggling with drugs and you might say the right thing that changes their perspective. So
hello.
Yeah. So yeah.
Even if you've never done any in your whole life, you can tell the way someone who is doing them is hurting you.
Yeah.
And then maybe that would resonate, and prevent somebody from, I don't know. But
and that might be the reason why.
He wasn't ready, Doc. Yeah, he wasn't ready for that.
And I didn't want to bring him any pressure either when he stopped and that's all he said. I just don't think. I said, okay, I understand. And then I tried to elaborate on it to make him feel open to talk more about it. So yeah.
Right, you did great. Yeah. I think that he's probably still shook because he probably had that's a heavy revy that you kind of just slid on in there. You're like, really? Let's get down to what's really happening here.
I did too. I was like,
please talk about it.
Yeah, please, because you never know. I might become an advocate for, not saying I would. Because I think the medicinal purposes and all the things that it has provided in the community, as far as what it can do for paper, what it can do for our lumber environment, what it could do for, rope. The reason why it was banned in the first place so they can make nylon, which is destroying our seas right now. That plastic is all up in our seas. And they say, they talk about, there's bits and pieces of plastic in our seas, but they forgot to mention that most of our boats have nylon ropes that go in and out of the water. And how much of those nylon ropes are rubbing against these boats and putting more plastic in the seas as well. So, at least the hemp will go in the water and then deteriorate because it's biodegradable. So.
Yeah, hello.
And so.
As per our maker's plan.
And that's what they used to make rope out of anyway. But they banned it so that there could be an industrial revolution into nylon, which is for war. It was for war, the sake of war. You know, so the military industrial complex. So it's so weird when you look at the history of it. It goes back to what he was saying. Beware of what we're doing, because right now we're getting rid of hemp and bringing in nylon. Yeah, he's basically telling you. He tells you, look, beware of what we're doing. It's going to get worse.
It wasn't even that long. How long ago?
Oh man, Eisenhower. I wasn't born, but you know.
I mean, but that's not even that long ago. Like, it's not even that long.
We're talking about the greatest general, the general with the most power ever. He had the most power. He was president. He was general, president, general again, 5-star general. I mean, he's seen some stuff.
He's seen some stuff.
He saw, he saw the danger because he knew what he could do and he was capable of. And these presidents are doing it.
Big guns, big guns.
They hurt us.
As I dropped.
They hurt us. They making women. They making women. Okay, I'm gonna go with what is her name? Nayamoto. What is her name? NY. What is her name? Oh, I can't remember her name right now. No. It's her last name that I'm looking at. Oh wow, I can't remember her name. She's got this campaign right now. She's been.
Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Are you working on change the law or just educating? Rick is one of he's family. I love him.
Just educating. It's never about. I'm not trying to necessarily change the law, because you need a community to change the law. So if you put things out there and educate enough people, then gradually we will all get together and change the law if we need to. So you see what I'm saying? But it's more about educating and going from the perspective of educating people from looking at what other people's opinions are. It's not about mostly it's not even about my opinion in these senses when we talk about these groups. I'm trying to hear what other people are saying and see if I resonate with it. You know what I mean? And see if other people resonate with it. And so we all on the same page, so we don't have these, okay, no pressure for creatives. We all get pressures. We all get obstacles. If we can all see that everybody's getting the same kind of obstacles, then we can move past the pressure and make it happen. So that's what these conversations are about. Yeah.
Yeah, let's change up the course of this situation that has provided horribleness.
Like period products, okay? And I'm specifically going into this because she talks about this all the time. How the price of period products, how the stigma about period, you know what I mean? About period blood that we put out there. And I'm as a man, I'm looking at this from her perspective and going, yeah, there is. Like, why am I like that about blood? It's just blood. If I cut myself on the arm, it's just blood. But I'm like kind of crazy about period blood, you know, because society has put it on my head that I got to be, crazy. Like these guys invented, she was talking about this specifically. These guys invented some gloves to say that, disposable rubber gloves for period blood. Okay, now you're going to damage the environment more to get rid of something that's natural. Because for tampons, to remove tampons. So these guys this group of guys made these gloves so women can use them to move their tampons and dispose of. So now you're adding more to the trash, more rubber to the trash, all right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, wow. All right, okay, I get it, but okay, it's just blood. It's just a process.
I just hate talking about it at all. Like, I gotta say, I hate it. Because it is what it is, and whatever, we have humans. You're welcome.
Yeah. And I mean, some people are grossed out by it, some people are not. Some people are grossed out by blood in general.
I'm proud of it. Yeah. I feel like that's amazing, and that we can make humans. Are you kidding me?
Right?
I'm not upset about it at all. Like, I embrace all women.
So I'm saying I'm an ally to her movement. I mean, I know she's way up in the scale. She's a millionaire, so she's making this movement. So but I support it. And that's what I'm saying. I support this idea that period products shouldn't cost so much. You know what I'm saying? This is where our lives come from. You know what I'm saying? Why does it cost so much for women to have to take care of their bodies? Why are women in prison having to wonder if they have to pay for period products? That should be free, all right? You're locked up in jail. Oh, it's not a privilege. What do you mean it's not a privilege? This is a life cycle. These are all the things that drive me nuts sometimes. So, when I hear this stuff, I'm just I
can't even allow myself to even and Rick he knows everything about my crazy life that has been he knows the truth.
Tell us more.
And I don't know what you're talking about, but he no, like it's just like what is being allowed, overlooked. If like you got the money, it ain't no thing. It ain't no thing. And I'm saying like it's a thing though. It should be a thing. You know what I mean? Ooh, it makes me so mad. Like I can't. The unjustness that is happening right now. So I cannot even like when it gets brought up, hits a little home, hits me like, just and I can't. I can't storm, the castle. That does because I've tried it and it doesn't really work out that great. I mean, not the Capitol storm. I was not there. I'm talking about like in general. Figuratively. Oh wait, I can't hear you.
Yeah, figuratively, I get you. I was laughing about it. Yeah, I know. You can't storm the Capitol, but I mean, yeah, I get you. Yeah, I get the figurative statement. What were you saying? Say it.
Oh, you know what? The Lord's been working on me. He's been doing some good works.
Well, let the work take its magic, take its toll.
Self-control,
simmer in that control. Yeah, I think the same thing too. I think as we grow, we start to realize what we can and can't say of our personal opinions, and sometimes we realize that some of the things that we wanted to say later, that we realize, wow, how wrong we were, and if we thought about it, just the thought about it, it's like, oh wow. I was wrong. So I'm glad I didn't say that then, you know what I mean? Because then I would regret it because I know that I'm wrong in doing it. You went sideways on me. You went sideways. It don't work like that. It don't work like that.
Oh my God.
It don't work like that.
Anyway.
Got to give you a little bit of ebonics to get you back on track here.
You're right. Well, okay.
No. It's the iPad, right? No, you're on the phone. I just said ebonics, and you understood it perfectly. You just turned the phone back. It's like it don't work like that.
No, I'm serious because I want to know exactly the definition. I don't know. Well,
ebonics is just another form of slang, and it's a form of slang that I believe started in the South. Actually, I know it started in the South. It actually started in the South, in the fields in the South, but. When you talk about in the fields of the South, you talk about a mixture of people and communities. So everybody starts talking, especially if people have an affinity for different communities, different cultures. People get involved in those cultures. And so when you talk about ebonics, it's focused as saying, technically speaking, it is a black language in America. But I feel like it's a Southern language that stemmed from pain and suffering, and so it's something else, and it's not just that. It was a language used to hide things, hide what you were meaning and saying.
Music used to be that way.
Yeah, music too. I mean, jazz music. There's a lot of ebonics in jazz music if you really listen to it, and so that's where I come from, that perspective from. That's why I say that, because people's like, oh, you can't negate that it was in music and that it was a turning tide for many of these other things when people are like, oh no, ebonics is a black language used in. You got to learn a bit. I mean, not you, but people. I think we all have to learn a little bit of history about all this. Yes. Even I got to keep learning about it so that I'm better at it. So
I want to learn all the things about all of humanity, just all of humanity. Just like, are you a human? Let us discuss something that we both enjoy. Let's smell the doggone roses in a time where everything seems to really stink around you. I've been brainwashing myself. It's been working with the positiveness, and I've been hearing like my positive podcasts and like scripture come out my mouth randomly, and then I'll be like, oh, I just said something positive instead of not positive.
Oh no, I was just saying. I was answering Rick there. Indeed. I mean, he says holding back your opinion on the internet, on an internet show is one thing, but if you have people in your circle who can't be real, you know what I'm saying, then you're hanging around with the wrong people, and that's the funny thing, because I tend to let everything out. Internet show, it doesn't matter where, it just all comes out. Because I'd rather be real, because for me, it's more of a headache to be like trying to fake something. You know what I mean? They're like, don't get me wrong, there's skeletons in my closet. Everybody's got skeletons. Everybody's got secrets that they don't want to let out. But if I'm called on it, I got to let it out. If I'm called on it, you know, I'm not going to share it everywhere. But if I'm called on it in that instance, I got to be honest about it. Right. So, I mean, I made mistakes. We all make mistakes. But like we're saying in today's show, even though we all make mistakes, if we learn from them and voyage from them, then we shouldn't be ashamed about them. We should be able to learn from them and grow from them and say, okay, you know, yeah, it was a mistake and I did this. Now, sometimes some of our mistakes we are ashamed about. Like, don't get me wrong, I got something that I'm still going to be ashamed about. But I got to be able to answer them and share them with people enough, not ashamed enough to not share them, so I might help somebody else. So,
I've really been learning that. Did I tell you about opening my club name on
Hey, Sarah.
Trigger?
I'm just saying highs.
Triggered, and I didn't fully think it through.
I found this on the web for how do you say hi.
Oh.
My iPad just went crazy. Sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying? I just muted it.
Okay. What was I saying, y'all? Rick, is he still there?
Yeah, he's still there. Hey, you were talking about being real. You were talking about being real with people that, you know, in your circle. And
And that's why I gotta say, like in the past, I would always find myself being more comfortable or feeling safer, or like that they were just nicer individuals. Like when I would try to be loving Jesus, I would try to go to church and like be good. Hated on, like I would like mean, like bullied, but then I would like, you know, be amongst. I find out later, you know, because I just am not like that. Thank God. I just have always been that way. Just like never met a stranger, just loving everybody. And the riffraff showed more kindness and respect to me, as far as even being a woman. Like, it's interesting to me. That says something. That speaks volumes to me. Something needs to be different about that. Like, right. You know, you know, I just like I got kicked off my little West Side basketball team.
What? Like, you got kicked off your basketball team? What was that all about?
I excused myself. I walked out. Thank you, but I knew that I was going to be kicked off because one of the deacons, like as grown men, like we're children, okay? We're like 15 because it was like it was before you could play JV, like the last year you could do it or whatever. So we were, you know, just shooting around and playing, and there was this grown man, and he was like slamming these little girls, like just like hurting these little girls, like being a bully, and like, oh, cool, 45-year-old, you know, bulldozing a 90-pound white child. Like, it made me really upset. Like, and so I was like, all right, homie, let's play with somebody your own size. And so
that's funny.
Thought he was going to do it again. Nuh-uh. And so I sprinted at the other end of the court and just, you know, I beat him down because he's like, I had a big old belly, and like, it was like, you know, and so I just stood there in the pit and waited on him, and he didn't have any body control. He couldn't stop himself. Right. And I knew it. And I just went, oh, and hit, and like he hit me, and he went flying across because I used my elbows. I leaned into it and did like that. And I said, how about pick on somebody your own size? And then I was like, I'll excuse myself. But I mean, it was awful. he was like, like on the floor and stuff, like being really dramatic, like coward, like being just ridiculous extra. Like no one was saying anything about these little girls. Like I remember the girl's name, I'm not gonna say it, but she was like crying, like wounded. And he was like, "You're fine, shake it off." And I was like, "You got to shake something off. You got to shake something off." Yeah,
Get him.
I don't like that.
Get him.
I'm retired, got, changing my ways. Can't be acting like that, but doggone that. Grown men like bullying little girls in public.
I mean, bullying in general. I mean, that's one of them things, you know. I mean, there's no need to bully people. There's no need to like. What were you saying?
You're a deacon. Oh. He's a deacon, and it was a church event. And it was one of the most, like, I've seen
Move closer.
Oh. It was one of the most, disturbing things that I've ever seen. And I've seen some stuff. But, I mean, that stuff's different. You don't just do that to a little girl and, like, laugh. Like, it was sick. And that was, like, looking to the coaches and, like, the adults. I know that they saw it. They were, like, and then they just didn't want to. They just didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I was like,
you. But I mean, I don't. Do you think that does? I mean, it doesn't matter what.
No.
I'm talking about. Did you think that you had to leave though? I mean, why would you have to be excused?
Oh yeah. Well, because I hurt the man. because because I was like aggressively mad about it. Like I was like very verbal and was like and yelled. Now, why don't you you can pick on somebody your own size? It's not funny.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, it was real. I was like, it's not funny, is it? It hurts, doesn't it? Like it was not okay. And he was like, on the floor, and I repent for hurting him. But I mean. That I just knew, I was like, and I walked to the Dairy Queen, so I was chubby. Walked to the Dairy Queen by myself, and was like eating my milkshake, and I don't know how I got it. Kelly, my friend, gave me a ride. Kelly Hunter. She said, or either Heather, now Tickle, one of my girls. They continued, and then they were like, you can't come back. I was like, I know, I figured I could. But that's church, like.
Yeah, so that makes me wonder about the community and how, this goes back to one of those statements we've been talking about when it comes to inclusion and how leaders in religious perspectives are non-inclusive, and how they make those who don't necessarily fit into their box, feel like an outsider, and those people, I mean, when you talk, that's a leader in the church. That's bad, that's a whole nother story right there. It's not just another player, I mean, another member. That's a leader.
The deacon aspect, and that's what really got to me too, because it was like my heart. I mean, I saw like 3 little girls get trampled. You know what I mean? Like I watched it, and was like looking to and then it just flew because just the evil. It was like it was evilness in that poor man. Like something's not okay. He's being tormented by something. But I mean. And then recently I've been like finding myself like, I would much rather be somewhere secular, because I feel like
Did you just say that?
Yes, I did. Because let me tell you what, the maker of the universe, pansy and pumpkin is not boring, and that's why I mean, I don't have time for it. I'm not religious. I am not religious. Nope. I will not stand for it. I can't.
I can understand that. I mean, it's different to have faith, but than to be religious. There's two different things. Yeah, or be a pusher. Yeah. Well, you know, I don't even mind the fact of people being a missionary. I don't mind that at all because most missionaries, they are really faithful. You know what I mean? They are really following the trick. So, and they aren't, and every missionary that I've ever met, they aren't trying to force anybody. They aren't downing people. They actually will talk. Like, I've lived in the same buildings with missionaries, and they hang out and barbecue with you and everything, and talk to you like a human being. Yeah, I mean, they won't drink or anything, but they're like, I'm eating with them. You know, they follow whatever, you know, they feel for that. Yeah. But they, you know, they're being human, yeah, and realizing, you know, in order to connect with human beings and in order to actually lead people, you know, and lead people to God, I've got to be more human. So,
and let's cut let's keep it real. I cannot stand it, will not stand it anymore with these like half-long conversations that are like dragging on to what the bottom line of the conversation really was in the first place. Like, I will cut people off, Doc. I'm like, whoa. Now, I love you. Is this what you want?
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, okay. Let's not do that anymore because it makes me livid. You know, and they say mad. And what's interesting is that it's like most of humanity, Doc.
Wow.
Wouldn't you say? I mean, especially in clubhouse rooms, you got to know your brain and psychiatry a little bit.
Well, if you take the fact that Clubhouse is a sample of 10 to 16 million people, sample of our world population, and you look at some of the things that go on in there, I mean, we're getting like a microscopic version of our world at a high rate and high level, from high level to low level interest. I mean, I'm saying that in a different way because I don't want to say people are high level or low level. I say people's interest are high level or low level. You know, so that goes back to what I was saying earlier, Rick, about being careful about what we say, because I could say high or low level people and then somebody's like, oh, he's classist or all this. But no, I'm thinking about, yeah, you know what I mean? I'm thinking about the interest. Well, because some of us, I mean, I know some high level people, you know, if you want to go on that route, millionaires, billionaires, who their interest is all about getting tore up every day. That's, you know, there's a difference of high level interest and a high level personality. You know?
There's sadness, you know, because man, ain't nobody know about that better than me.
And high level lifestyle. I mean, so yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mean that sometimes you're not even aware that you are suffering. You don't even know. You don't even know. And, you know, I don't think anyone like wakes up and is like, I'm going to be an alcoholic today.
Right?
You know, like, yes, I shall have, you know what I mean? Like, nah. And a lot of it is like affiliated with the you know, doctors and stuff, like everybody on the painkillers and like the crowding in prisons. I mean, you know, Rick knows what I'm talking about. Like, because I think he was a cop at one point. And
who was a cop at one point?
I wish Rick. But he's legit.
Rick?
And used to be, and now he's like an advocate in many ways. He's been one for me, that's for sure. But anyways, I wish that there were people like Rick as police officers still, because I've recently had not good encounters. Rick, I need to actually call him. Like, okay, you know, and I've just been like, come on now, like, this is unnecessary. Like, how can I help you? What did I do wrong? Like, did I break the law? Like, what's really going on here? Right. Like what? You know, like, everything is good. Like, I just don't understand. I don't know. It's just been a strange. It's been a strange division of law that I've experienced recently in South Carolina.
Yeah. Wow. Sorry to hear that.
It's okay. I appreciate your genuine that was precious.
Right.
I felt you feel me and really be sorry. So sweet.
Yeah. I've seen in South Carolina as well. I've seen some heinous stuff, I want to call it. So, I
It's
definitely.
getting better. I think, I'm going to just say it. And, I used to feel like angry at police. Now I bless them. I say, bless the popo instead of the other thing. Because really, until we can start to all love one another and like build each other up and be for humanity as a whole, I don't care what kind of, the disrespect uniform you're wearing or not. If you're wearing a doctor's uniform, I don't care. A judge.
Right.
Like, let us be more. Where's Clint Eastwood? Somebody call Clint Eastwood.
Somebody call Clint Eastwood. Oh, wow.
Yes, because, I feel like that Martin Luther King his spirit visits me on the reg.
It's interesting you talk about that because last night I went into one of the lessons that I've heard this before, and it was an audible. It's Napoleon Hill's Golden Rules, and in Napoleon Hill's Golden Rules, his book, he's talking about the council, the board of counselors, and it's one of my favorite things to talk about because when we talk about people who have been here and have left, I always think that their energy is consistently going. Whether you hear it from another person that their energy went through, especially if they wrote literature, their energy is definitely, because whatever work they put out here, whatever work they spoke, whatever work they put out in the universe out there, hit if it hit the masses and became in print, it is still touching us. It is still reviving us. So we can read somebody's book, read somebody's story, and then sit down and imagine that they're sitting at a table with us meeting them. And imagine that they're telling us something. We talk about this in music. Victor Wooten, the music lesson. He talks about, you can jam with Miles Davis if you want to. Well, I can't jam with Miles Davis. He's dead. Oh, well, put on an album of Miles Davis and start playing to that album. You're jamming with Miles Davis. So it's that connection that you can actually get communication from these people who have passed or even not here.
I'm tapping into that. I need all the help I can.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got Jay-Z on my board of counselors. Yeah, he's still alive. He's still alive, but I know what he says in his songs, so I know what he would say to certain things. The thing is I imagine them, and you imagine what they would say from their perspective back at you if you ask a question. And then you've gotten some counseling. But, of course, that's not enough. You need real people, too. You need real people to bounce these ideas off of that are going to give you feedback. And so I always say we all need the coaching. We all need the mentoring. We all need psychiatric help. You know what I'm saying? We all need all of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And people, and we all need friends. You know what I'm saying? So all of that is stuff we need to pay attention to. So,
I think that we should be able to have freedom in using our imaginations. Like, you shouldn't feel like, oh my God, am I going to get locked up or accused of being crazy or something for speaking about spiritual things. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I feel like, we've all got to be free to express ourselves, but especially if we're passionate about our religion, freedom of religion, if you will, even though I'm not religious, but we should be able to say, hey, I think Martin Luther King popped up in my apartment the other night, and not be like, oh snap, someone's about to record me, put it somewhere and say that I'm real crazy. You know what I mean? Like, because people are doing it.
Now, if you had an experience and you connected with something that Martin Luther King said to you, then that's your experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, for a white girl.
Well, I don't think it really matters if a truth is revealed. It doesn't matter where you're from. And welcome, Blessed Hands, and definitely Rick said, Anna, when people hurt you or disrespect you, it's usually more about their relationship with themselves than about you. It's all about their pain. Like we talked about narcissism all the time. The narcissist is not thinking about the person they're using. He's thinking about how they can benefit off the person they're using. So, and they don't think that they got a problem. They're not going to go seek mental help. They're going to say the other people got a problem and it's not my problem. So it's that whole thing, I totally agree. I totally agree with all that.
I just don't, I can't do liars, you know what I mean? Like, I don't do that. I feel like mm-mm, don't lie. I had to fire this little girl one time. You know, she kept lying to me, man. She kept telling me that, like, she just kept lying in my face over and over again. And I was like, is there, like, any other situation that you'd like to explain other than what you're telling me? I was like, anything at all. I was giving her everything because, you know, I was like, it's okay. I said, if there happens to be a totally different story or scenario that is the actual truth, then that's fine, and will not be, you know, and you know there will be no problem. Just tell me that. Please be honest. She kept lying in my face, and I was like, have you give me your key? That was the first time I'd ever fired someone.
Indeed. And by the way, hey, Lord Madonna.
Madonna.
Lord Madonna, and Lord Madonna is the name.
Hallelujah.
So they said yo, so I had to say hey. But yeah, I totally agree with that. You know, and to add to that, and I just saw this as well. You know, freedom of religion is really at its core freedom of thought. You know, if we're not free to think and believe who we are, if we're not free to be who we are to be, then who are we?
Yeah. And I'm out there. I'm out there to the max. I know that.
Yeah, you're pretty out there, but that's okay. I still like you anyway.
I enjoys it. You know what I mean? And you know, there are other humans out there that are out there too, and then we meet out there and all the out there things.
I mean, I always say I'm out there too. I'm like on a weird tangent. You know, I know too much stuff that I shouldn't know, and I'm weird, but I tend to be part of the party sometime, and I don't get it. So, you know, I mean, but you know, that's just the way it is. Right.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to celebrate. I'm so happy that I'm alive. You know, I was missing my friend the other day, even though I feel his spirit sometimes too. But one of my best friends passed away. Like, this is a long time ago, man. But I miss that dude every day. And I feel like, doggone it. You know, and then there's that. That was it. Because
that's that moment of feeling.
Yeah, well, it led me to thinking about how important it is, you know, to next level it. Step it up. We're going to have to step it up, you know, as far as, you know, positivity and overcoming. Everybody's overcoming, having to come right now. I think people, for the first time in their lives ever, you know, that have all the money in the universe, were, you know, faced with some things. Because just because you have a ton of money doesn't mean that you don't have, I mean, Biggie, my money, my problems is usually, it can go that way. And, you know,
Indeed.
I'm really looking forward to having an abundance of money, and also, but having wisdom as to how to distribute accordingly and, like, you know, help humanity out and not be wasteful. And, you know, I learned that from my dad going to prison abruptly, you know, because I was an idiot. Just like, well, no, I had no idea how things like how it was to have to take care of yourself, like to make your own money.
And that's not, I don't consider that an idiot. I consider that, you know, we don't know what we don't know until we learn what we don't know, you know? Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, no disrespect in any way meant to my parents or how they raised me, because they're humans and they, you know, the best they could do.
But I think about this, that most kids don't know what their parents are doing behind the scenes. Most kids, because it's not like it's like taught all the time in schools that parents are taking care of this stuff and whatever this other stuff is. So, yeah.
Also, like car insurance and stuff like that. Like, I was totally just spoiled, like, because it was just like taken care of, and it was luxurious and awesome. But unless that had happened, unless I had everything jerked, it was just like I say product nada, and
right.
You know, so it was like, oh, and not only, you know, and then I was actually, when that happened, I was actually leaving my ex-husband. Actually, like, at the same time, and then my dad had to, like, self-surrender on on Thanksgiving. They did it on purpose, maybe. I don't know. God bless. Yeah, and so that was something else. And then my family, you know, divided, obviously. And it's still divided right now. It sucks, but sometimes it's better to love people from a distance.
Yeah, I mean, I get to that too. Like, there's that part of sometimes it's better to love people from a distance as long as we're able to start forgiving people and accepting who they are. Then we can really love them from a distance and really be strong about it and really support them as well. So.
Yes, and like I let it ride or die, you know, bottom line. But it's just a boundaries thing. I didn't have any boundaries. I was like, I didn't know what that was at all. Yeah. You know, it's because they weren't provided, because they weren't practiced, I guess. And you know, I just learned to like being an adult, like growing up. I really didn't. I was like, wait a minute, what? I had to learn like essentially that I had to unwind some training. I had to de-train myself.
Yeah. And that's another side of it too. We don't understand that throughout our life, as we grow throughout our life, we're consistently needing to reprogram and retrain ourselves. Like, okay, here's a major thought in this book right here. Human Lifespan Development. I thought this class was not going to be as important as it is. Wow. It starts to talk about our brain and our growth of our brain. It starts to talk about how we transition from point A to point B and how we learn and how we understand life and how we see life. And there's a part of our brain that, you know, our brains grow small, but there's a part of our, let's say the animal's brain. The animal's brain that doesn't grow at all. And it's the back part of the brain where the eyes is basically the occipital lobe, I believe. I'm not that good with biology, but through the eyes, we see things through our eyes, and it goes through the back of our brain, and we interpret it and send it through the rest of our brain, right? And almost all animals do it through a fight or flight experience, except for human beings. We start to use our occipital, or that lobe, a little bit more because it grows and it gets bigger as we become an adult. So they say, unlike most animals, there's another animal that we don't talk about that has a small lobe that doesn't grow, and they stay in fight or flight mode for a long time in their life. And they say it's children. So there's this sake that from the time we're all the way up to 20, children, right. So all the way till 22 years old, our lobe is too small and we're not interpreting. We don't get that executive function. We don't get that higher cognitive thought process. We don't get these conversations like we're having here where we're thinking about how can I better my life. That's when we have to reprogram our life again. And then we got to go through another series again a few years after that and reprogram ourselves again when we're in our 40s. And then when we get in our 60s, we got to reprogram ourselves again. So it's a life cycle of reprogramming our own mind and reprogramming our own thoughts and teaching ourselves. And we forget that. And that's literally what my lessons are about. So this is perfect.
Yeah, man. And mine too. I mean, I want to participate with you and thank you. Because it's just, I cannot survive any other way. Or other people. You know what I mean? Like, I have had to totally self-surrender. You know, there are really, 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 really big perks to that, and to letting go of unforgiveness and letting go of self-seeking. You know, just as like just not thinking about the grand scheme of things, which is not just about me and my direct offspring necessarily. You know, but like that should not be the only. You know what I mean? Like, it's all bigger. Our role as humans go so much bigger and farther. The written out plan, which I was blessed to see. I was, you know, I had, you know, an experience to where I was explained some things to where I was less angry about Earth. You know, as a whole, I understood. I was like, oh, okay, you know. And the main thing is how important it is how we use our words speaking things into existence.
Yes.
That, it really, when you cuss somebody out, it hurts them because you're hitting them. You know what I mean? Like with those words, and that sticks and stones never broke me as BS. I'd rather get my ass beat. Excuse me, Lord, you forgive me. But I would rather get beat up physically, take a physical beating, than to take an emotional beating or a verbal beating.
That's an interesting concept.
There should be zero abuse factor, but I've thought about it. I've been like, you know what? I think I'd rather somebody taking me in an alley and beating me with a bat than having to go, you know what I mean? Like, than having to have that like conversation, and then the repercussions thereof, if you will. But that's a part of growing, and it's hard to do. You have to face. I had to face a lot of like not cute things on my end, like, just oopsies, but real bad. Sorry, like, just like my bad. I'm so sorry, and you have to get up off it. But a lot of times I thought that I was all right, like, because I was like a hot mess before I got married, just because I just been. Yeah. Then I got married and got worse because my ex-husband. Anyways, I made it. So yeah, it's because I've been partying for as long as I could remember, and so my brain started functioning. When I started to clear up, and I was like, "Wait a minute, that was actually like I need to call so and so." Like I told my best friend that when I was pregnant, I called it forced rehab. And, I had no idea. I was like, oh, I'm like so brilliantly smart. I was like enjoying my brain coming back. Thank God brain cells come back. Whew.
Yeah, I've always wondered about that. Are they coming back? Yeah, I don't know. No, they come back, and they say that our IQ improves as we grow older. As long as we keep learning, our IQ does improve. So a measure of IQ really is not as important. Really, it isn't. High IQ just means that earlier in life, that you can do some other things, with IQ. But the best measure is always EQ. How do we handle our emotions? Because our connectivity with people, which I have not been the best at, like you were just talking about. If we can't handle our emotions, our anger, our our frustration, if we can't connect with people right, then we're not going to be able to communicate with people properly, and then we're not going to be able to get things done. And the more we can't get things done, the more we beat up ourselves because we have these expectations in our life that we should do this next thing. So part of manifesting is having EQ. Part of manifesting. So, yep.
Most certainly. It's like when you know somebody, it's like when you, like, it's an understanding, you can feel it because we're spirits. Our spirits reign. We're made to reign, over, our alignment, if you will. People call, the chakras and getting aligned. Essentially, it all goes back to the boss. And it's the same. And I embrace it. And that's what I've been trying to do is like line it up and being like, okay, no, I'm not going to even reach for that thought pattern. Because you have 17 seconds. 17 seconds. So I think it's 17 or 9 seconds to come into like hold an agreement to a negative thought or something like, fear, period, is idiotic. I mean, excuse me, I need to stop saying idiot just in general, but being afraid a lot of times is in vain. And, man, once you start running at everything you're the most afraid of, you're going to fight fear for a little bit, forever, until you see something that's trying to creep on you in some kind of negative way and run at it to where it just doesn't happen anymore. And so that's what I've been trying like so hard, dog. Woo! And it has been totally supernatural, the self-control that our maker has given me, really, in order to be able to step back and to step back and love anyways. Like when someone was really horrific to me. I mean, horrific. If it had been videoed and put on Facebook, everybody would be like, not believe it. It just, you know, it would be better than TV, but in a horrific way. But it was not taken from me the way that it was projected to, because I felt such compassion and just almost like a yearning to hold this individual who was in front of me being hideous, you know, in front of our children and stuff, like, you know. But it was like a warm fuzzy, it was an experience, because I was thinking, like, it was real. I really genuinely felt like, oh man, you know, are you all right? You know, what can I do for you? Yeah,
it's
like
empathetic side.
Oh, I can feel a stick, man.
And that's important. If we don't have that empathy, we're doomed to fail. And so, and with that being said, I need to stop for a station. You got it. Oops. I didn't want to do that. I need to stop for a station ID real quick. So with that being said, let's start with a little station ID. Today we're here with Anna Davis Pitts. For those catching us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope. If you're listening, if you're watching, if you're tuning in, we're talking about the recap of today's Clubhouse room with No Pressure of Creatives. That's our room, No Pressure for Creatives. We talked about what is your mistake, but these talks that we have, they go off on tangents. And I like that, because we start talking about other stuff, not just what we talk about the room, but we start talking about our lives, and we start revealing what's going on deep in our souls and in our hearts and in our minds. I know Anna's over here making faces. She's making faces back and forth like, I didn't reveal nothing. Did I? Oh, yes, I did. Oh, maybe I didn't. But, you know, we're here just sharing every Wednesday after No Pressure for Creatives. So, and it's usually around 12-ish, 1-ish that we'll come on and we'll do this live. But we're going to take this live a little bit further and continue it out to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Periscope. That's going to be my weekly content, because I noticed that in this content we talk about the same topics that I've been talking about for weeks, but now you get more than one perspective, and maybe we can start adding more people into this conversation later, because that's the way IG works, and that's the way all these other devices work. So we can start to have a big community conversation on these topics, and you can start to get other people's perspectives on how they deal with their pressures, how they deal with growth, how they deal with reshaping their mind, their hearts, and their souls so they can get out there and get done what they need to do in life. I'm not just talking out my ass, folks. I had to say that out loud. I had to say that because I think a lot of people see me doing these videos and they think I'm just talking out the side of my mouth. But no, there's other people I see doing it every day. I'm trying to catch up to some of them. And there's some people I see not doing it, and I'm trying to make sure I'm not one of them. You know, so I get up there with all these bright minds that I run into that think about all these concepts and throw them around so we can figure out how to work our path through them. And I want you to be able to do it too. So with that being said, let's get back to Anna Davis Pitts right here on Doc Real TV. We're in the hot box with Doc Real and Anna Davis Pitts on the recap.
Yesterday. Oh man, does hotbox mean something else? Is it a radio lingo that I don't know?
Well, the hotbox started as a group of individuals getting together in LA. I call this LA hotbox, and the range was, you know, because of the way the streets are designed, you know. So it was originally hold up, stop. Alarms. Every time that happens. Originally, because of the way the streets are designed, I thought of it as a box, but then also the TV box, because we're in a TV screen, and so it was live video on YouTube, and I got together some guys, and then it got a little, you know, don't get me wrong, they started hotboxing in the hotbox. So, and then the apartment became the hotbox. So, you know, oh, wow, I'm getting all these alerts. So now...
Well, I mean, they must have been in Denver or West Virginia.
No,
with their little marijuana cards.
That's funny you say that, because one of the guys is from Bad News, VA, not West Virginia, but from Bad News, Virginia. And we got together, and he had music. Great music producer. And he makes a lot of music, and we got together and we got some guys ciphering in the hotbox. So they would, you know, get a little drunk, get a little messed up, get in the hotbox and start spitting lyrics. Well, it evolved. It became a radio show where in the hotbox I was talking about people in the community, their jobs, their different things. And when I went to the radio station, I was pulling people to the radio station, interviewing them about their businesses, about what they do in the hotbox, in the LA hotbox. And so the hotbox is, yes, it does have different connotations, different mix in, but it's all about this platform. We're in the hotbox. We're in a box, talking to each other in boxes, sharing with each other, and sharing our goals, our dreams, and what we do. So that's Doc. And of course, I'm out. Like on Clubhouse.
Hey, Doc, what are your goals and dreams, and what is it that you do?
Oh, wow. Well, I like to tell people that I create learning lessons. I create lessons for people to understand how to use multimedia tools, from Microsoft Office to Adobe Premiere CC, Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere CC, and I help people learn these multimedia tools so they can be better and effective at what they want to share online or wherever in their business. But also, I like to help people, you know, because I've spent years in multimedia, and I spent years in film and television. I spent years growing up as a professional in entertainment. So that's what I like to share. But I also see that there are a lot of people that I grew up with, a lot of people that I've worked in the industry with, that just stopped doing what they love to do. And I want to kind of encourage them that, you know, you still have a chance. You still have an opportunity. Just because you failed that one time or 3-4 times. You know, Edison took thousands of times to make a light bulb. We all have to keep going and keep persevering. Oh, right. And even though it seems like I've changed my road, I want to tell people, like I always do, I have range. I keep adding to my range and learning things that I can add to my perfection. I'm the jack of all trades, the master of entertainment, I say, or the master of media. I don't want to say entertainment because there's people that are way bigger than me, but the master of media tools, you know. So I like to use these tools. And so even when they mess up, I still get them to work. So, yeah, this is Doc, and I'm out.
Woo! Everybody flash their mics.
Everybody flash their mics. I'm getting in that habit more and more and more of saying, even on the phone, I'll be talking to somebody on the phone, and I was like, yeah, this is Doc, and I'm out. I'm like, oops, yeah, we're not in Clubhouse.
I know, I just kind of struggled with actually saying I am complete for a minute. But I was like, you know what? I am complete. And I just like started making an affirmation. But the first time they were like, and no, you say, I was thinking like, first of all, don't be telling me what to say. Don't be telling me what to say. Or like if I want to say something else, like, I mean, it didn't happen to me. I, of course, was like empath and the other person, because I was thinking like, let that girl say what she wants to say to goodbye. You know, like, come on now, shall we? So, but anyways, so I've been thinking of, I try to say something different every time. Like I try to say, like, and this is my 2 cents, or something like Groundhog Day-y, you know, put on your little booties because it's cold out there today. And it's to see like the different personalities, kind of like you know, when you're moderating, and how you can kind of like chill and be more like be relaxed and more like yourself, and be able to like really, instead of having, or not having, but like there's pressure to have some form of answer, you know, like when you're moderating, like they're looking to you, they're asking you these like, I mean, ain't easy questions, and a lot of times I'll find them like the questions.
Sometimes like, they're not.
You know, just like hit me in the face. And then I'm like, you know, having to lock my own ish up. And, you know, but that in itself is so helpful for me as we get back to this. You know, it's selfish, but self-care is critical.
When are your rooms? You still do triggered rooms, right?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do another one tonight at midnight. Okay. I'm gonna go for the late. We're gonna go for the late crowd, because I told you the last one lasted for 9 hours, and then the other one was like 6, and we had to like. And I slept for 3 days. I was telling my friend Christina that I made in Clubhouse. I'm obsessed with her. Like, I don't care.
That's what happens. You sleep for a few days if you do a long night like that one. I'm probably the only exception. I can only do 5 hours and I'm back up again. So
yeah, I went 24. I went 24 hours. I went 24 hours the first time, and then I was just so emotionally like. But people had, including myself, had breakthroughs, like psychological, like healings, heart heals were happening, and it was like within a room of like, like 15, 20 people, or maybe not even that much the first night, and then the second night it got real big, real quick. Because everybody has been through some shit.
yeah,
I mean,
and you start noticing that all of it's similar. Everybody's been through the same stuff, just looking at it differently.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't have this problem. Oh, well, I do have this problem. Oh, I don't want to tell anybody. That's the stigma that goes around, and I'm with you there. I mean, I spend a lot of time in rooms. Well, I've been making it only 2 to 3 days a week now because of school, and I want to make sure I get stuff done. But I mean, it is addictive, and that's what it's all about, though. This ability to open up dialogue. I've been on this tip for years about us sitting down and open up dialogue. That's the only thing that's going to fix the problems we have. So if we could sit in a room and open up dialogue every night on some of the problems we internally have, some of the problems we externally have, some of the problems we all share, then maybe we can all find solutions to these problems and not have so much headache.
With each other's help. Yeah, with each other's help, we most certainly can, but not when we're hating or so worried about somebody getting something that we're not going to get. Like, somebody stand up. You know what I mean? It's like, and I don't care what happens. I'm just gonna paw it out, y'all. I'm gonna paw it out. And I just don't get it ripped. Before I went through all kinds of shiz, now I've gone through even more, and it's like all of the zero cares in the world that could be in existence. It's just like, and it's so freeing. And now I'm just like, okay, well, because I have to redo it every day. Like, I'm on a permanent mountain of transfiguration.
Yeah. Like every time you get up, you gotta tell yourself, go through the whole mantras, go through the whole cycle, and it's rewarding. But that's another thing. I want to keep creating these type of spaces because I think that's what my calling is. When people, like, you ask me, what do I want to do? It's being able to, like, this space we created. We created this space right here that we're doing right now, and we're trying to extend it more to get it out to more people so that more people can get into this conversation. Why? Because it strengthens us. It edifies us. And so that's literally what I want for the future. In order to build that community of artists that I want to build, or that island, that my dream island where people can come and learn all about art and connectivity and creativity. In order to do that, I got to have a connection of people, a network of people who are in agreement with that. Yeah. Yeah, and so I got to build that community or be a part of that community. I don't necessarily have to be the one to make it, but I can join a community that's with it. Some people do it in churches. Some people do it in their, whatever way, their local unions or whatever. But we all have our ways of connecting, and we got to connect.
We must connect, and but also we shouldn't have to label certain buildings. You know what I mean? Like, no, that doesn't, like all those labels, like, it gets on my nerves, man. Not as bad as it used to. I mean, I'm better about it now. It doesn't annoy me now. I just feel like, oh, but you're so much more than that. Like, I had someone introduce themselves to me as they were blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, but you're so much more than that. And I could tell that the person was shook because I meant it also. From my guts, you know what I mean? Like, you can't be faking it. And let me tell you something, Doc. Humans that try to fake kindness, it's just like that Kim Kardashian, like, meme all over again. That's just, it says someone caught an attitude. When someone causes an attitude, they don't know you're crazy, and it shows her, like, going, like, she's about to lose it. Yeah. But that's how I feel all the sometimes. Like, I've been working on myself, so I kept my mouth shut. But you know, I just have had to be like, what's going to happen?
Les?
Like, what are you going to do if like the cops are like, we start getting like told to go get in this line and to the shop, you know what I mean? Like, or, you know, we're going to have to, I don't know. It's coming. It's happening. The rise of women, or the rise of humanity.
Yeah.
You know, I think we've been all like kind of brainwashed and pushed to the point of that's it. Because, you know, there have been some humans, shout out yourself, that have been seeking truth, you know, just like seeking it really with all their hearts. And when you're looking for something, you're going to find it even when you really want it. When you really are looking, like, I don't care what it is. Like, if I want to cig, or, you know what I mean, and I don't have any, or like don't smoke anymore, but I want one all of a sudden, I'll find one. You know what I mean? Or you know, you do what you need to do, and instead of doing bad things, you know, participating in the bad things that, you know, kill you and stuff, just making that choice decision to have self-respect enough for myself.
I definitely, I was about to say, you got to love yourself in that. If you're not loving yourself, then you're not respecting yourself. And I want to kind of throw in some of the stuff that Bless is saying here. I go back to where Bless is saying hating on another entrepreneur's leveling. I was like, ooh, yeah, that's what people do. Well, you know, I mean, if what if you team up with that entrepreneur instead of hating on them? You might level too, you know? And then the energy you spend hating on somebody else. Wow. That's more energy to hate on somebody else than it is to team up with them. Or, you know, and those people, like you said earlier, you were saying people that act like that, they don't get very far in life. And that's what Bless is saying right here. And I love, you know, thank you for saying that, you know, we're dropping good nuggets here. You know, I look at good nuggets as all just relating. When we all relate, you know, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah.
The humanity, y'all. We are the golden nuggets. Humanity.
Yeah, we're all relating and understanding what we can be doing or need to be doing in life. You know, I mean, and we're all growing. That's what it is. We're relating and growing.
To live and love. I mean, do I need to write it in just the individual letters and frame them up somehow? But like that isn't doing the trick, because everybody's got to live and love posted up somewhere in their house, seems like, and they're, you know, ain't doing nothing but hate. And Cardi B is like, she said, if you got love, show me love then, because you hating on a B is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You know, like, and she like get down 9 times, get up 10. Like, I'm sorry, people that have the extraordinary humans that are extraordinary are the ones that have been knocked down a lot.
Yeah, I keep hearing that more and more, and you know, I think I've spent that time in my life where I've been like, why me? Why did I have to go through this crap? Why did I have to? And lately I've been looking at it being like, well, you know, some of that stuff I used to say, why me? It's actually, I'm glad I went through it, because had I not gone through it, I wouldn't look at. I mean, I was looking at you know, I started, like you said, you met one of my new business partners, and I was looking at opening up my business, you know, my new LLC, and I was reading through some stuff, and I was like, as I'm reading through it, it dawned on me that I knew the stuff that it was going to say, and that like 10 years ago or 20 years ago when I'd started a business, I didn't read that stuff.
Oh, so you were like, nice.
And it is a different perspective now that I sat down and read it, and I'm like, yeah, I understand this, I understand that. And it's been through that time where I start to understand why I need to read this stuff and why I need to prepare this stuff, why. And I start looking back at every time I started a business, how the mistakes I made in knowing I know all this stuff I need to do and the stuff that I didn't do in it. And so now I'm like, okay, let me do this right this time. So in this case, I am actually, like we were talking about early, laying down the plan, the process that I need. And as I'm focusing on that process, I'm making it easier for me to avoid or have manageable mistakes. So if a mistake happens, it's not really a big mistake that messes up everything. It's manageable. I can say, okay, because I put things in place to say, oh, that's just something I can move right back in the lane again and say, this is what needs to happen. This is what, and so it's taking
right on the spot. Yeah.
Right. Where the planning, the opportunity, the planning and everything come together, I keep forgetting that line where preparation meets opportunity, because the preparation, instead of running, while you're doing the preparation, instead of running into an obstacle, you run into an opportunity. Say, oh,
okay,
it's not an obstacle. It's an opportunity for me to make this better so I can, that's the problem I had a long time ago. Hey, boom, now it's fixed.
Yeah.
So.
All the knowledge. And also, I had to get over self-loathing when I started getting the knowledge.
Oh, that one too.
Like, because I was like, just very Edgar Allan Poe, a little bit tragic. And but for real, it's a part of the healing process, though. Like, having the guts to go to unpleasant places to where you made mistakes, but to allow yourself to, first of all, even remember if a particular lifestyle is at hand, in that phase of your life, then you have to, like, you remember that, like, oh my goodness, that happened, and then, oh no, it was all my fault and my bad. Like,
Indeed.
Like, and nobody's fault but my own. And now, after I throw up and cry about it, I'm gonna have to call these humans that, and truly be like, hey, remember like 8 years ago?
Crazy.
And they're like, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. But now they don't. You know what I mean? Like, but it takes, you gotta get up off. I had to get up off myself big time.
Of course.
I didn't even know I was on myself, though, y'all.
Yeah. We don't even recognize it. We start, like you were saying the word idiot before, or the word try. Sometimes it's ingrained so far in our vocabulary that we don't even realize we're downing ourselves in every step of the way. After this conversation, I got 40 push-ups to do to remind myself to stop using that word try, because I am doing the things that I was talking about doing. I'm actually making it happen. It's challenging. It's not easy every day, but because I'm doing it, I'm not trying to do it, I'm actually doing it. So it's reminding myself, and once you get that out of your mind, you see that, this is the wins. Like, that made me, oh yeah, I'm trying. Oh, now I'm down. No, I'm doing. Hey, I'm doing it. I feel better about it. It's a mentality change. It's just simple mind shift, something so small, but we don't recognize it until we do it over and over again and practice it. That practice that makes it work. And so, every time we get in these conversations, it's so interesting that I see so many examples of the stuff I've been putting out to recharge other people, because I think a lot of people don't realize that I've been putting this stuff out to recharge myself first. I got to do it. It's every day I got to do it to recharge myself. So I'm just telling you what I'm doing. That's all.
Can we all, I need some group, acknowledgement, just like, can I get a nod? Can I get an amen?
Can I get an amen?
Okay.
I get you. Amen.
We are here together making it, and it really, we need encouragement.
Yes.
And it doesn't take much. I love Jordan Peterson. I love him. And, he says a lot of interesting things sometimes about our maker, and I find it interesting. But that's what he said. He was like, we just need to encourage one another, because he's like, of course, the boss argumenter. Like, it's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
But just his brain, just like, it's just something else. But
I get you.
He was advocating. Can't we just? Hey, listen. If you want to do this discussion, this philosophy, because you can tell that he didn't really care. He's just kind of like, boop. I feel like that he's on that platform. Not necessarily on because he wants to be, as big as that.
He's doing it because he needs that connection too. just like everybody
Yeah.
else. And that's
his call.
Yeah, it's part of his calling. He's got to keep his calling going to reach out, because if he's not doing it, he's going behind. And I just got to mention, my battery's dying. It's the end. Well, it's I could turn it on, but you get this power sound. Plug it in. So, but and we're way past. We're 2 hours in on an hour. Yeah, we meant to do an hour. We're already 2 hours in.
I love you. I know. I looked up by. I mean, we could talk about this. But
Exactly. That's what happens on
after-
Clubhouse. See, and y'all know next Wednesday what?
After creative gathering, no pressure.
You ready for it next Wednesday too? Okay, cool. I just making sure that you.
I'm gonna prepare, even though the Bible says not to.
No worries.
I'll recall, I guess,
Well,
too.
we need to talk a little bit in between there so we can see if we can do it differently and link up in it and get it everywhere, as well as Instagram, you know, and maybe even promote it more. So now that we've done it 3 weeks in a row. Yeah. Yeah. I usually wait till after 3 weeks in a row to really see how, you know, people are serious about stuff. Not you specifically, but everybody, you know, including me, because I may not be able to, you know, so I have to see how serious I am too. So, but yeah.
Yeah, that club situation, I will do that tonight, because it's not, you know, I think that, you know, I know. And also I'm going to do a room about people's parents. What do you do when your parent goes to jail?
Wow. You should start scheduling rooms like that and just, you know, making them happen. Yeah.
Tonight, as soon as we hang up.
That's it. Well,
And join midnight if you can, I love.
I definitely will. And with that being said, it's almost that time, or it is that time. Folks, that was In the Hot Box with Doc Rio and Anna Davis Pitts. I don't want to say Smith again. I don't know why I want to say Smith. Anna Davis Pitts. I love that name, though. Anna Davis. This is Anna. It just flows. It's got that 3-name thing that flows from back in our day, you know, when our parents used to give us 3 names.
That's my maiden name.
And I was going to say, that's your maiden name and that's your maiden name and married name, right?
My child, okay?
Oh, no.
He was like, you know, and I was like, all right. It's on my first birthday, so what are you going to do?
Yeah. What was that? I got the forbidden low power thing pop up, and so I got some of it, but you said,
I said some might say it's the pits.
It's the pits. Ooh, this not the pits. That's funny. I can see somebody like, hey, it's the pits. They're here today. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Shadow of safety. My shadow is a safe place to be.
Indeed,
I love
indeed.
You. Wednesday.
See you Wednesday. See you Wednesday. Definitely, folks. That's Anna. You know, if you haven't heard her voice before, this is the first time for y'all on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, Twitter. You know, it's the first time y'all hearing her talk live in the conversation. Next week, hopefully we can situate it right. We're working on. Actually, no, we will figure out a way to get it live on the screen for both screens, so we're all over the place. And that's what we're working on this next week. So we're going to come back with the recap once again. The recap is going to have some of those little nuggets that I usually give away during the week. And we're going to repost this for folks on Saturdays who want to come in and watch it as well. So this is Doc, and here with Anna. Say bye to him, Anna. Say, hey, bye.
Bye. I love y'all so much.
Indeed, indeed. And we'll talk to you all soon. Stay tuned for the next In the Hot Box with Doc Rio and Anna Davis Pitts. Soon. Oh, she clocked out already. Bye, y'all. Peace. I'm out of here. If you or someone you know is having thoughts of harming themselves, please contact the Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. And if you're a veteran of the armed forces, press 1 after dialing 1-800-273-8255.